is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Get Ellievated podcast. It is your girl and your host, Ellie, aka Ellie Talks Money, and I am super excited for another solo episode today. I love when I get a chance to talk to you guys. I love when I get a chance to just really share, from my perspective. And I love when I get to have my guests as well. That's super special. But these solo episodes really allow me to respond to some questions that pop up in my DMs and my emails and just different thoughts that come to me throughout the week. This is my opportunity to deliver them to you all. So today I want to talk to you guys about some of the challenges you're probably facing right now in your business. The top 3 challenges actually that I know I have faced and still do face. And the top 3 challenges that a lot of my audience will come and ask me about, right? I get tons of questions and emails, but I always notice these particular themes in those DMs and messages and emails. So I'm pretty sure this week's episode is going to really resonate with you. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, and let's dive in. Listen, everything you need to change your life is already within you. You need to believe that it has to work or it has to work. You got this. Scale your business, make more money, create your best life, and let's get elevated. Welcome to the podcast. All right, y'all, welcome back into the show. So, top 3 challenges that most entrepreneurs are facing and that I'm always getting asked about. Number 1, and I'm wondering if y'all can guess what this is. Number 1 is content, okay? A lot of entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, ask me all the time, how do I create content? How do I do this? How do I get consistent with it? How do I start to like doing it? What do I even say? What do I make videos about? How am I supposed to use it to get customers? The questions, the list goes on and on. And I will say this, as scary and intimidating as content can seem, it is absolutely a non-negotiable for your business. And we are in a time now where, 40 years ago, you didn't need to create content on social media or on your phone. We didn't even really have cell phones at the time. There was very much a different way to attract customers. But now, all we have truly outside of TV is social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We actually have an unprecedented opportunity to create many shows around our life, to create many episodes around the things we want our audience to know about us, about our business, how we can help them, and etc. And truly, the reason why I tell you that's non-negotiable is that this is not something we can afford to take advantage of. You guys are scrolling social media on a daily basis and you are probably buying from businesses, brands, different things off of what you see on social media. So if you yourself are buying from a system that's currently working, which is content creation and using content to create sales, then why aren't you participating in that same system which is currently working on you? You have to see it that way. I know that I definitely am influenced by content. I spend time on TikTok. I've bought from people's affiliate links. I've bought from people's products on Instagram. And so that goes to show the power of content. When you see that power and how it's working on you, you have to say, you know what? I need to learn how to use this power so it can work on my potential customers as well. And some of the key things that really make content great content are, number 1, understanding very clearly who you serve. So who's going to benefit from this information on your page, right? Who's going to benefit from the type of content you're going to create? Secondly, what do you want it to do for them, right? What do you want your business to do for them, your product, your content, your videos? What's the goal? And then as well, from that, what next step do you want them to take? Are they buying something from you? Do you just want them to follow you? Where is the money making happening in this? Where is the conversion happening here? And so when you align and really list out those three things, that gives you clarity. I find that a lot of the time, the reason why people don't want to create content or feel hesitant to create content is that they're simply just lacking clarity. They're lacking clarity on who they serve. They're lacking clarity on what they can do for them. And they're lacking clarity on what they ultimately want that customer to do. So let's get clear on those things. Now, once you know who you want to benefit from your videos or your content or your products and services and what you want them to gain, then you can make content with an objective in mind. So one of the great ways to reverse engineer this process is to look at, all right, I know that I want to make videos for people who want to buy houses. I'm a real estate agent. I want more clients. I want to make content so that people who are interested in becoming homeowners can see it and can ultimately decide, you know what, I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to contact this person to do it. So now you want to look at, all right, what would my potential customer out there have questions on? If I am serving or creating content for people who maybe have never bought a home before or maybe think that they can't afford to buy a home, what are some questions that they probably have that I can assist with? And so you start to make that list of questions. Now, a great thing that you can do is go directly to websites like answerthepublic.com, which will give you insight into the questions people have about topics like real estate, first-time home buyers, home ownership. And from the list of questions that are generated, you pick and choose your questions, make videos answering those questions, and post those videos. Now the people who needed answers to those questions and needed to be served by that information are now in a position to be served, are now in a position where they say, hey, I like that video because it answered my question. I'm going to follow this person. And they'll take it a step beyond following because remember the third element that I shared is knowing how you want this content to convert. You make sure that at the end of all your posts, your videos, your pictures, anything you're sharing, that there is a call to action there that tells them, click the link in my bio and sign up for a free consultation call. Click the link in my bio and get my ebook. Click the link in my bio and let's start your search today, right? You are making sure that they know what next steps to take so that they don't just follow you, but they also become a part of your business ethos. Because this is how you're going to get their email address and their contact information to continue the conversation from there. So that's one of the biggest things I get asked about is content. Now, I don't want to not address the second largest question that I get, which is how do I know when it's time to hire? And I'm sure most of you entrepreneurs listening to this are like, ooh, she read my mind. Hiring people into your business is a huge decision and can definitely be confusing in knowing when is the right time, how much to pay them, who am I hiring, right? What is the position that I actually need right now? And, am I ready, right? I know for me, when I made my first hire, which was Gina, my customer service assistant, I was like, am I ready for this? Am I ready to actually pay someone out of this business that I just started, that I'm still trying to figure out, am I going to be making money every day, right? So that's one of the first things I want you guys to know. When it comes to deciding when and if to hire people, you do want to make sure it is something your business can financially sustain, okay? So if your business is making $5,000 a month and maybe taking $4,000 after profit, you don't want to make a hire that is $2,000 a month. That's 50% of what your business is bringing in. And that's putting you in a dangerous position because if anything comes up, or if you want to pay yourself, you don't have that available. So you want to always make sure that you can keep your payroll under 30% of whatever your business is making. So if you're making $4,000, 30% of that is about $1,200. You should be looking to pay anyone less than that amount, okay? Now, a great alternative, if you're not in a position where you can necessarily pay someone full-time or even part-time, is instead to hire contractors. So you can go to websites like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, and hire people to work with you on hourly basis. So much of the time, I know some of my first contractors were $10 an hour. Say, you know what? I can afford to do 5 hours a week right now, $50, so you can handle these admin tasks. And they're going to do it because you are contracting with them. This is a great way for you to get comfortable with delegation, as well for you to get comfortable with paying someone, okay? And then build up that business. You start earning more money, and as well build up whatever that position would look like for whomever is to come next. Now, as well, another way to be cost efficient is to hire interns. So a lot of the time, your local universities, your local colleges, especially for the seniors and juniors, they have internship programs where they need to get a certain amount of credit hours working in order to graduate. And so by you providing your job as a space where some of these juniors and seniors in college can come and get experience, it's mutually beneficial. You're getting an opportunity to gain someone to come and work for you without having to spend a lot of money, and they're getting the opportunity to get their credit hours, learn about a new business potentially, and graduate. Okay, so that's another great solution that you can take so that you can get ready to actually make your first on board hire. Now, the reason why it is so key to hire in your business, and the reason why I tell you you will be ready even if you are not financially ready right now, it is definitely important to still get the help, because you cannot build this business alone. Okay. And I used to think, and I still do think, I can do things all by myself. I don't need help. Blah, 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 blah. We all tend to have this savior complex, right? But you cannot do things alone, and you shouldn't want to. You should always be looking at, how can I work on my business, but not always in my business? Because these businesses are our babies, right? They mean a lot to us. We love them. However, how can that business go and survive and thrive on its own if it's only reliant on you? That means you can't have a life, and the business can't have a life outside of you. So hiring people and bringing people in allows you to delegate tasks to people who did not have any part in creating this business, so that you can see, hey, you know what? Other people can sustain this too. It's not only me, because I'm the inventor, that can make this go well, right? Other people who have particular skills in certain areas can actually add more to the business on this particular side in this particular way. And that's valuable, because now you are setting your business up to succeed outside of yourself. Because let's face it, one day, I mean, we all will go and see God. One day you may decide you want to retire. You may not want to be in the hustle and bustle of running your business, but that doesn't mean that your business should have to stop. Your business should be able to continue with the people that you put in place, okay? So some of the first hires that you're going to make just to get your feet wet are customer service is a great place to start, especially if you have a business shipping out orders, whether physical or digital. As well, just getting an assistant, even if it's just a couple hours a week. This assistant can handle things like admin tasks. This assistant can handle things like emails. They can handle things like DMs, social media. And this is going to allow you to take some things off of your plate so you can stay in your zone of genius. That is so, so valuable as a business owner. So much of the time we want to do it all, right? And while, yes, we are capable of it, your zone of genius may just be in content creation. Your zone of genius may be in doing the recipes. Your zone of genius may be marketing and coming up with new ways to contact customers. But if you have to do that and check emails and figure out how to do the website and try to answer DMs and try to connect Instagram to the other, you're way outside of your zone of genius. You're frustrated, you're tired, and you are not ultimately in the right space to be able to give your business what it needs. So, general rule of thumb, make sure that you can afford to take at least 25 to 30% of what your business is earning and put that towards a role. Some of the best roles to start with are going to be an assistant, customer service, or an operations manager, someone to help you kind of piece all these things together. And if you can't yet afford to pay someone, do one-off tasks with contractors on Upwork or Fiverr. As well, you can always get interns, okay? Now, I cannot not mention this third challenge, okay? And this one comes up a lot, right? This one comes up a lot because, building a business isn't easy. No matter what, it's not easy. Going out and learning how to get money on your own, like there's one, of course you can get a job, right? Getting money from a job is one thing. But going out and learning how to get money on your own, how to cultivate it, how to create products and services to attract it, that can definitely be a challenge. And it's not easy for any entrepreneur, no matter how many years we have in the game. Of course, it does start to get easier, but it is still something that we have to work through. And it is still something that we have to consistently increase our skill sets on, consistently increase our network around, and consistently learn about. And that is what is so key. So the third challenge that I'm sure every single one of you all listening, watching, this is real. And I know it's real because I deal with it too. But that would be consistency. I get asked all the time, how do I stay consistent? How do I stay focused? How do I stay motivated? Especially by, my audience who are moms, right? Or who have children. It's a whole other world when you are wanting to build a business and working on yourself while you also have to take care of children. Woo! It can be extremely difficult to stay motivated, extremely difficult to stay focused and stay consistent. But what I would say to you is this. Your desire for success is going to have to go past motivation. Sometimes where you need to go, motivation won't take you there. It will have to be based on your discipline. It will have to be based on your why. It will have to be based on, do you want it bad enough? And if you want it bad enough, it doesn't matter if you have motivation or not. You know what you need to do in order to go and get it. And that's where consistency comes in. See, consistency isn't naturally something that we as humans want to do. It's not naturally easy to us. But we choose to be consistent because we recognize the results that can come if we do. And we also recognize the results that can come if we don't. So consistency is a choice. It's a choice. And the way that you make that choice is by looking at, I know I want this. I want this amount of money. I want this amount of success. I want this amount of sales. I want this type of home. I want whatever it is, right? I want this. What is it going to take for me to make this amount of money on a monthly basis? All right, it's going to take me doing X amount of sales per day. What do I need to do to make X amount of sales per day? Okay, it's going to involve me showing up, creating content, doing the same thing, staying consistent, making it happen. So then your consistency becomes a byproduct of the results you want to achieve. Because you know that inconsistency isn't going to get you to the number of sales you need to make per day in order to make that much money per month. It won't get you there. They're not on the same level. So then your consistency rises to get you to the place that is going to produce the outcome of X amount of sales per day, which will give you X amount of sales per month, which will give you X amount of sales per year. Everyone has the potential to be consistent. Not everyone makes the choice. So what I want to tell you is that instead of feeling like you are an inconsistent person or it's so hard for you to become consistent, it is a challenge. It's not easy for anyone. But I want you to shift and instead look at what are the goals you have? What is the life you want to live? What's the amount you desire to see in your bank account? And recognize that you will require a certain amount of consistency in order to achieve those goals. And so by that, you should know it's a non-negotiable. I know for me that consistency is a non-negotiable because guess what? Bills need to be paid. I have a team, I have an office, I have children, I have goals. So even when I don't feel like it, it's a non-negotiable. I have to make the choice of consistency because the goals that I have demand a certain amount of consistency. And that's how I want you guys to see it too. So whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get up, I can't do it, I'm not motivated, I'm not focused, yada, 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 all the things, all the feelings and emotions we go through, what I do is go and look at my list of goals. And if I haven't checked something off yet, and if I'm not where I want to be yet for the month in terms of income or whatever, then I know I have work to do because I cannot check off those things if I do not bring a certain level of consistency, a certain level of focus, a certain level of discipline to the mix. And I still may not be motivated, right? I still may not want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I realize I do not have a choice other than to do it because that level of output is the only thing that is going to get me to the goals that need to be achieved. It's not about what you want. It's about what you know you need to do. And that is the difference that I want you to embrace in consistency. And by then, now you've trained yourself to be a consistent person. It doesn't mean you always want to do what you're doing in your business, but you've trained yourself to be consistent at it because you know what your goals are. All right? So what I want you guys to do, I always like to give you guys short and sweet tactics that you can use in every episode, every week of the Get Ellievated podcast. But I want you all to comment below here, what are some other challenges that you're facing? I shared some of the 3 that I know most resonate for me and that I get the most feedback on from my audience. But while you're listening to this, what are some other challenges you deal with so I can make sure to address this in another episode of the podcast, all right? As always, make sure you share this with a friend, download this, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And yeah, you are taking steps right now to build a business. It's not always easy. It's not always easy to be the first one to be changing your life, but I want you to know you have the tools to do it and you got this, all right? I will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye. So if you want to be on the next episode of Get Ellievated, or if you want to be in touch with me and the team, then you can email podcast@getellievated.com or find me on Instagram and email me at hello@ellietalksmoney.com. Either way, we cannot wait to have you on the show and have you apply to be a guest for a part of the live business coaching. I'll see you guys soon.